Dutch police carry teddy bears in case they need to calm a child down. Over here, they tell you, madam, you know who that you're picking. Eh? I just remember this story a few days back, and this uncle said he got a seat in the bus. And then a woman he didn't know just entered with the kid, and the kid just kept saying, oh yeah, I can't sit down, uncle's lap. Which uncle? Who's your uncle? But then I think it goes to show the way the communal style and way we live. That's why they say that to raise a child, it takes a village.
Yeah.
But these days, due to the way things are, we have that. We're so disconnected from each other. I mean, of course, that's what the world is now. We're so disconnected from each other, so much so that now, if you touch my child, because that time when they say it takes a village to raise a child was everybody's child, and so you could discipline a child, but now you just can't do that. You just have to be careful. All right, so Danny, you have quite an interesting...
It depends, though. I would say it depends, actually. No, because, it depends on how close anyways. Like, recently, I went to my friend's house. Her child was... But I...
Was giving you Ogbanje vibes.
She wasn't saying it. Well, she actually won't say anything. At the point, she was like, stop harassing my child. If anything happens, they call you, they still call my name, so...
All right, yeah, you have something quite interesting for us, yeah?
Oh, yeah. So, initially, I saw a post. There's been a buzz about the whole Miss Universe and everything. So something quite interesting happened on the red carpet. Something quite interesting happened on the red carpet.
Because you are part of the people.
She's spreading on the country, actually. Actually did reach out.
Okay.
So when she's taking her media rounds, when she's back, she has some Miss Universe.
But she's back now.
Yeah, so she came and she traveled out the next day.
Okay.
Yeah, so,
Because I know she's done a few media rounds.
Quite busy. Yeah. So something quite interesting happened on the red carpet of Miss Universe, actually, the Miss Universe, right? So there was a lady on the red carpet that literally had a dress made out of contraceptives of the rubber kind. You get the ones they refer to as gloves. So she actually had a dress made out of it, and I think what was most interesting about it. So the idea was to promote the idea of using contraceptives, right? Protection and how people actually don't use it. And then I think what was most jarring for me was the fact that they were used. Yeah, and she said it. She actually said it. Like she was like, I'm like. I first held my nose while watching the post because I'm like, what's all this? But anyways, moving on, that literally leads me to the conversation which I actually saw and I thought was actually quite
By the way, where did she get them from? Is that the number of all the men she's been with?
I don't know. Even if she kept them since then till now. They were quite a lot. Do you understand? And it was just funny. But anyways, the conversation today actually saw yesterday.
Send her contact so you can find that from her.
It was actually pretty sad. So there was a video a lady posted talking about how a mentee of hers sent her a video of a medication, right? And asking, madam, I think she's a nurse or something, asking, okay, madam, please, what is this medication used for? And she was like, oh, okay, this is actually an antiviral medication, which is actually used to treat the likes of HIV, or mostly any other thing that is viral and all that. So she was talking about how her boyfriend has been taking this medication, and whenever she asked him about it, what it's about, no, she didn't even ask before. So when she told her, she now asked him, he now said that he has a hole in his heart. And that the medication is for the hole in his heart. So when the lady now told her that actually is antiviral, she now asked, okay, for how often or how frequently does he take it? She was like, she doesn't take it so frequently, but at least once a month, thereabout and everything. So the lady now advised her to actually go and get a HIV test done. Just for her to go and get the HIV test, and she was HIV positive. So apparently the medication was for... And she was asking she's asking right now, like, what should she do? Should she confront him? Should she just pack her load and be going? Should she stay? Because, there's so much going on with her right now and all of that. So,
she stay with the guy that gave her HIV.
So she already has it now.
So she may as well just stay, and they can live happily ever after.
In some climes, that guy could be charged. Like, you really have grounds for...
Yeah. What is a criminal offense?
Know, though? Okay, he knows. That's why he's taking
the medication.
Drugs.
There are enough grounds.
It is a crime.
There are enough grounds to charge him. Yeah. Enough grounds. I don't know how it is here. I could check out. But I know that in other crimes, people have been convicted for knowingly spreading
the virus,
such diseases and all of that. And it goes just to say, when you talk about this thing called trust, How far can you go when it comes to trust in a particular scenario like this? Because, I don't know, couples do quite a lot of things. Like you said, she saw this thing. I don't know, how long have they been in this
11
relationship?
months.
And this is not the first.
11
We've seen
months,
things like this. In fact, we know some people who will intentionally say, I will not go alone with this.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
we've heard very funny stories.
Yeah.
And that's why they say whenever you copulate with somebody, you are basically copulating with all the people
that they've
person
been
has
with.
copulated with
So everything that's
prior to
passed
that
down.
time. You know, so everything is passed down to that time. If you go deeper, some people can give you very, very deeper things, but it's not that deep. No, let's not.
Yeah, but
you know. But then I would say that in this particular scenario, man, she, apart from getting the medical services involved and all that, she really should see how far the ambit of the law can go to help her. Because for the fact that you saw this drug, and if you have evidence that you had snapped it or something, or have something of him taking it, that means that he knew what he had. Then try and push it with the law. If I was to give her advice, that's what I would say. Staying with him, I don't think that should be an option, because the person that can do that to you.
But you know, Mike, this actually transcends, looking at it at a broader perspective, or the broader perspective, right? We've also seen cases where partners infect one another. Well, we're not just talking with the virus now, with STDs.
Yeah.
Right? Knowingly or unknowingly. We've heard stories of husbands, complaining about their wives giving them, infecting them. We've also heard husbands, say the same thing, right? Now, a marriage situation is different from a relationship situation, clearly, because, other than the fact that, it's a marriage situation. Yeah. The conversations around protecting yourself in that regard doesn't come up, because this is your partner. Okay,
when you're married, right?
When you're married.
Okay, let me just slide something in while you go on, right? So there was also another doctor that actually now reported in the comments of that post and spoke about how he had a patient who literally had, so the wife found out the husband had it. Got it from the side chick. So we don't know whether I got it from, but yeah, got it from side chick. Both of them were on the medication. Oh my God. That's the husband and now the side chick were on the medication. And then the wife was just there. She had to find out. And of course, by the time she had found it, she already had it.
I think we're also even, missing the point, which is, over time, this begins to affect the children.
Of course, definitely.
Right? It begins to affect the children. So please, can we think about the effects, the psychological, the emotional, and the physical effects it's going to have on our kids? Yeah. Nobody is saying you should not go and, be philandros with your, sexual parts. But do it with moderation, and then communicate it. Or better still, when you're dealing with your partner, use protection, because even you yourself, you are a, I don't want to use the term, you are a Balthazar. You have been banging, but you do it with caution. Yeah. Try to protect the people around you. Let's not be selfish now. Come on. Yeah. Like, how do you know that you're carrying around this disease or diseases, and then you are not also protecting your partner for the sake of your children? Not even if you hate that person, for the sake of your children, try and just protect yourself in the name of Jesus Christ.
So I think it's important to say this. So when you go to the hospital and they do this test, so something the doctor will tell you is that having this type of disease, either HIV or AIDS, is not a death sentence. So now, amazingly, medically, there are ways to actually treat it. Right? That doesn't now mean you should now say, okay, it's not a death sentence, it's not a death sentence for me. It's not a death sentence for you now. Pass it down. Do you understand? It doesn't make any sense.
That's wickedness.
So please, and as women or as even men generally, you meet someone, before you get there, if you can actually go to the hospital and do tests, thanks. If you cannot, please protect yourself at all costs.
At all costs.
At all costs.
All right.
Because there are certain things you cannot reverse. This is one of them.
For this woman and for any other person,
get
to the law and see if you can get a conviction. That's what I'll say. All right, that's it. That's it on What's Up and About. We'll take a time out now. Stay with us. We will be back in a jiffy.